we head into your Tuesday, we will have about a 60 to 70% chance of a shower or a storm, so keep those umbrellas with you. But we still have that onshore flow, so they'll start along the coast during the morning and then eventually march farther and farther inland as the afternoon wears on. Some of the rain could be locally heavy, so keep that in mind. Now, as we head into the next several days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, drier air returns, likewise Saharan dust, so not much rain in the forecast for the middle and the end of the week, but it will be a few degrees warmer. I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Steve Villanueva for WSTU 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You are listening to WSTU, Stewart, Jensen Beach, Hope Sound, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by Cigna and Aetna Medicare. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on this extraordinary Tuesday morning, July 26th, and it's your day to own it. Good morning, I'm Gary Owen, host of this great, world-renowned Quality of Life radio show.
Absolutely, and I'm your co-host, Tom Bouvier.
And hopefully you're not tied up in traffic on US 1 or Dixie Highway or I-95 or the Turnpike, and enjoying your drive and listening to us on WSTU and WPSL, or if you're at work or at home, we're stationary, like Doug Mustapick is stationary right now. You are probably tuning in on our Facebook Live. Follow us at Quality of Life Radio Show. And Tom, every Tuesday morning, we grace this rich, wonderful studio with Evan Nine for whatever reason.
Man, such beautiful words, Gary. I don't know if I can follow that. Absolutely. But, you know, you and I, we love to come here to bring relevant content to our listeners. And this is information that you can actually use. So hang tight and don't change that dial.
We'll smack their fingers.
Oh, that's right. We'll smack their fingers with our imaginary smackers. Secondly, we love to support and showcase local business owners, nonprofit organizations. We have a candidate who's running for office who we'll be introducing here in a moment, which leads me to the last thing is that you and I, we love to bring education, information about insurance planning, different options that people have that would actually bring quality to their life. And that's the name of the show, the Quality of Life Radio Show.
We love to educate. We love to inform and be transparent with our prospective clients, because we know that our competition doesn't do that. The majority of them doesn't do that. We're going to talk more about that on the second part of our show. In fact, we're going to kind of dive in on Medicare supplements. There's been a lot of hoopla about the Medicare Supplement Plan N versus Plan G. Which is better? Which one should I stick with? And can I just switch plans any time of the year? Great questions. We're going to answer all those questions on the second part on the back end of our show. And I want to remind everybody who's listening, our listening audience, if you're out there listening and you love our show, only if you love our show, you are going to be extended a personal invite to our Owen Insurance Group Appreciation Party on August 10th at the Flagler Center in downtown Stewart from 5 to 7:30 p.m. So if you're interested in coming, it's a free dinner, free cocktails, free Gary, free Tom, and you get to meet the rest of our team, some of our carriers, our carrier partners. So you definitely want to come by and enjoy. But you need a RSVP. Seats are filling up quickly. So this is for our Owen Insurance Group listening audience today on the Quality of Life radio show.
And they need to call us at 772-210-1020 to make that reservation. You can bring a guest as well.
That's right, 772-210-1020, or email support at oweninsurancegroup.net. So it is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce you to a friend of mine, Doug Mustapick. He is indeed running for candidate for Martin County Commissioner District 4. And Doug, I think he is on the phone calling in. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Gary. Can you hear me clearly?
You are loud and clear, like you are on or in the studio, brother. So you are sounding excellent this morning.
I cannot thank you, Tom, and Evan behind the scenes there for one, setting this all up, and two, to our community that you all do. Thank you all so much for having me on today.
Doug, we appreciate you, buddy, and sorry we couldn't get you in this morning, and we know you're running around with a chicken with its head cut off and out there meeting, greeting, kissing babies, shaking hands, being the man that you are. So stay safe out there, brother. I kind of want to, there's a lot of people out there who may not know who Doug Mustapick is. So I can say that it has been an honor and a privilege to have gotten to know Doug. We were in Leadership Class 31, Martin County Leadership Class 31 together, well, with him and Oro, of course, the star of the show. But good to know Doug and what he stands for, the man that he is, the son that he is, the father that he is, serving our country with the United States Marine Corps. He brings the leadership skills, and I think this is what Martin County needs today. Obviously, you know, when people get into a place of position for an extended period of time, they lose their luster and the capabilities and maybe their strengths. But I'm glad to know and glad to say that Doug will bring a fresh face, fresh ideas, and true leadership to Martin County. So, Doug, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you came from, and so forth.
Thank you, Gary. Again, it's humbling to have those kind words said. For me, I am born and raised here in Martin County in Tequesta. I went to school at King's Academy, which is why some people have, been curious as to, what school, where'd you go? And I had an outstanding education. And one of the things that I learned in that education was that leaders care, right? Leaders show up, they're active, and that's where it started for me, is in the school, at home with some great parents who raised me the right way. And so growing up in Tequesta, I had the joy of being on our waterways. I had the joy of seeing that South Florida lifestyle that a lot of us grew up with, right? And so I joined the Marine Corps, and I had an amazing experience. It was both an incredible challenge, but also one of my greatest opportunities in my life that I loved. I really learned that I love service, both at Christ Fellowship and then in the Marine Corps. And so in the Marine Corps, I fixed Afghanistan in 2012, and then I came back and worked in process improvement. And so I compared two different bases, figuring out from a contract perspective, how can we save some money? And so we were able to save the Marine Corps $2.5 million through a few different projects over a 2-year period. And that kind of lit my passion for just improving and bettering wherever I was. And so I got out, had my amazing son Grayson, who's now 7, and also with me is my fiance Mary and Colton, who's 11. And the most important thing that matters to us to share with these listeners is that we deserve a leader, again, that is active in the community and that's listening. And so I was proud to be on the water yesterday with a number of leaders, from Brian Mast to Stacy Hetherington to Toby Oberdorf, who are very concerned about our waterways, right? Sure. We were showing the Coast Guard over 100 boats trying to fit to the bridge that we need to fight for fair and equitable time for the safety of our boaters. And so being in our community, knowing these things, making sure that we are cautious on our growth, right? I've met with 3 of the city commissioners. I believe that we need to craft a better plan between with the city's ability. We're going to want things. And so incredibly excited and humbly ask for your vote on August 23rd, and I hope to earn the opportunity to serve our community together.
That's awesome. Doug, listen, we all know there is divisiveness in politics today, and quite frankly, personally speaking, I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting that there are too many people on the far right and don't listen to anyone on the far left, and no one's coming in the center anymore and talking out issues and trying to make things work for the good of America. That's what's perplexing to me personally. But drilling it down to Martin County, I mean, still there remains a plethora of issues, and you touched on a couple of those points. But to you, I mean, the top three issues that you're hearing out there from soon to be your constituents, what are the top three issues that you're dealing with that you want to tackle and that you're passionate about, Doug?
Sure. So, and I did touch on them, so forgive me if I'm a bit repetitive there, but it's most certainly growth, it's environment, and it's integrity. Integrity is not something that you just get better at. It's a portion of who you are, right? When you're younger, you start making those small decisions of, do I make the right call when no one's looking? And so, having grown up with those incredible parents and being in Christ Fellowship, again, learning to serve, I just recognize that holding myself to a standard, not that I'm perfect, right? That's, I think, the main message is that people mess up. That happens. But having that standard of integrity and doing what I say I'm going to do, I think is incredibly important for a public servant. And so with that as the base or the foundation with my approach towards growth in the environment, I believe that, again, we have to be careful about where we're putting things in Martin County. I think that the feel of Martin County is starting to be eroded in the city. And I think there's a number of residents, as I'm door knocking, we've knocked over 2,000 homes so far. That is one of their primary concerns. The other is the environment, right? We need to continue what we're doing with the septic to sewer programs. My primary frustration is that why did it take 20 years?
Yes.
Why have we not really made this push decades ago or a decade ago?
Yep.
And so those are two of the things. We did talk. I've had a few people ask me about what are your budgetary, what are your budget priorities? And so it's similar to that, right? Public safety is my first priority from a budget perspective. Infrastructure is next. Environment through policy, right? I don't necessarily believe we need to be spending a lot of taxpayer dollars on the purchasing of land, right? Because we still have to manage those in the long term. But I love seeing the nonprofits and different organizations come together to get those lands for conservation. And then the last one, which is not sexy at all, is information technology. Cybercrime is becoming that hidden villain, if you will. And I think that when you look at all the data of our citizens in Martin County, we want to make sure that their data, that our older adults' data, and that our kids' data is safe for decades to come.
I got to tell you, man, I love your common sense approach to these issues, and it really, I think that's what's lacking in politics today is common sense and having integrity, collaboration, and communication. I mean, I think communication, being in the military, as you well know, communication is the key. No matter if it's in the military or business or your personal life or your personal relationships, if you don't have two-way open communication, how in the heck are you going to be successful in anything that you do? So these are the key issues, and you bring great common sense approach, and my vote is for Doug Mustapick. If you're not voting for Doug, I think that it needs, or you're maybe not thinking about Doug Mustapick. I think that if you've got questions, you call him. And Doug, how do they reach you? If they want to talk to you, they've got an issue or a concern here in Martin County and want to know more about you and your stand, how do they reach you?
Sure. So pickmustapick.com is my website. And for the sake of everyone here listening, I won't spell that. So we've got another website as well called martincares.org. And so if you go to martincares.org, it will send it's a quick survey of what's important to you in Martin County. It asks you if you'd like me to reach out to you, and they can put whatever, email, phone, and I'll reach out to them within a few business days, and we get to chat about what's important to them and share my views as well. Facebook, I'm very excited to see all of the engagement on Facebook. I generally will not post comments to Facebook just to give people a heads up, but I am excited for those meet and greets and those one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, we're sorry we missed you last night, my friend, and it's a great opportunity to get to know Doug. Go to martincares.org or pickmustapick.com. Obviously, there's a lot of support around Doug, and I'm glad to be there for him, be there with him every step of the way. And you're going to win the battle, my friend. I'm looking forward to your leadership in Martin County. and you're going to bring some great positive change, and I think be a breath of fresh air. So we look forward to that. I know you need some help out there, so tell us just a couple things where you may need help from those of us who may be listening and who may be interested in helping you.
Sure. So the first and most important thing that everyone can do, no matter what their status, their health, what have you, is that they can call 10 people that they know. They can say, guys, we support Doug because we think he has that common sense approach, right? And so just doing that old-fashioned picking up the phone and just calling your friends, talking to them about who are they voting for on August 23rd, right? We want the conservative choice because we've seen, what happens when we don't have those choices, both locally and federally. The next thing is, if you don't mind a little bit of the summer fun, you can get out on the corners and sign wave with us. We tend to pick a Thursday or Friday afternoon. It's for 1 hour, and we'll be posting those updates here in a bit. And lastly, it's door knocking. That's definitely the street, but it's one of the opportunities that I greatly enjoy personally. So those are the three things. If you cannot volunteer that type of time, the last thing is donations. And so obviously getting the name out there takes money. And while I want to make sure that I am the best steward possible with those donations, I am doing my best job possible to be a good steward of those donations. So I am excited for all the hard work that both myself, my fiance Mary, and our whole team has put in. And Gary, thank you again so much for the instrumental role you've played in the community here.
I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us this morning. Look forward to helping you and assisting you along the way, and it's a collaborative effort. It takes a village. So God bless you, my friend. Stay safe out there, and Semper Fi.
Semper Fi, brother. Thanks so
Cheers.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. It is time. It's 22 after 10. It's time for our break. You're listening to the world-famous Quality of Life radio show on WSTU 1450 AM and WPSL 1590 and Facebook Live. Hang tight. We're going to be right back in 30 seconds.
This is Gary Owen of the Owen Insurance Group. We are a local independent insurance agency located right here on the Treasure Coast. I've been a resident here for 34 years and have helped thousands of clients with their insurance planning needs. We specialize in life, health, and Medicare insurance planning. Don't travel the road alone. Let us be your guide. We are the Owen Insurance Group. Contact us today at 772-210-1020 or visit our website at oweninsurancegroup.net.
You are listening to WSTU, Stewart, Jensen Beach, Hope Sound, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Hey there, good-looking people. Welcome back to the Quality of Life radio show. Boov and I have got some great information for you all today. But before we get started, we want to share with you the quote of the day. And Tom is going to share that with you in a second. And then we're going to talk with you about a health fact. Get relief at night to sleep well. You're going to want to listen to this one. And then we're going to share with you 10 fascinating facts about the Atlantic Ocean. And by the way, did you know that the Atlantic Ocean covers 21% of the world's total surface? Man, it's pretty amazing. We've got a lot of stuff to share about the Atlantic Ocean. We're just a few feet away from us, it seems like.
Oh, my. You're such a tease.
And this day in history, what happened in July 26, back in 1775, all the way through 1999. We'll share that with you. But, Tom, we need a good good quote of the day today.
All right, quote of the day. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. you can't go anywhere until you change it.
Isn't that nice?
That's right. So turn that frown upside down
Yes.
and get your attitude adjusted.
Yes. We don't like flat tires.
No.
Whether it's in a car or in your personal life. So,
That's right. And some people wonder, why is my life not going well? When they just have this negative, Nelly, bad attitude situation. Change your attitude.
Yep.
And they say you can change your altitude.
Yes.
So
Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, that's right. Zig Ziglar, another wonderful, wonderful person to quote from as well.
All right. So moving on to the health facts. So, Tom, what temperature? Well, first of all, let me back up. How well do you sleep at night?
I actually do sleep very well.
Good. All right. And at what temperature do you keep your home on at night?
74.
74.
With a fan over the bed.
Understood. Iggy, do you sleep well at night? Yes. Yes. What temperature do you keep your home at? 74. 74. All right.
74.
I didn't
Stop
ask.
copying
I didn't ask
me.
you.
Are you copying?
All right, Evan. Do you sleep well at night?
No.
No. And what do you keep your temperature at?
74.
No, you don't.
I do.
74. What is it with 74? All right. A lower temperature in the bedroom and fans to circulate the air may make you more comfortable. You should use moisture-wicking quick-dry sheets and PJs, or no PJs at all. Avoid synthetic fabrics that don't breathe. The temperature of your bedroom can make a significant difference to your sleep quality. A National Sleep Foundation poll found that cool room temperatures was one of the most important factors in getting a good night's sleep. 74 is too warm for me. Sorry. The best bedroom temperature for sleep is approximately, are you ready for this?
Brr. Yeah, before you even say it.
65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a little too chilly for me. This may vary by a few degrees from person to person, but most doctors recommend keeping the thermostat set between 60 and 67 degrees for the most comfortable sleep.
Cow, that'll quadruple my electric bill.
No question about it. Does anyone want to know what I keep my temperature at night?
Yes, we do. 68. Well, and no, 69.
You say 69. He says 68. Iggy? 70. Bingo. Right on the nose. 70 degrees.
And do you sleep well at night?
And I sleep fairly well at night.
All right.
Depending on what happens. But yes. But, it's important. I hate being hot at night. And I wake up in the middle of the night when I'm hot. It ruins your sleep, man. It's not good.
Our vent is directly over the bed, and the fan is just to the right of it. And so we get this blast of cold air, plus the fan. It's like... and our air conditioning is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a new one, and it just blows like crazy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 2-story, so I got a lot to pull down.
Yes, you do.
Anyway, so that was a cool, interesting health fact. 60 to 67 degrees for the most comfortable sleep. I remember going to a friend of mine who was he was stationed up in the Panhandle with the Air Force, and I went to visit him for a couple of nights during the weekend, and him and his wife kept the house. I think it was probably about 62 degrees. I thought I was going to freeze. I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep at all last night.
Your lips are blue, and you're hiding under the covers.
Ridiculous.
Still.
It was too cold. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
It was miserable. But anyway, let's go and talk about the 10 fascinating facts about the Atlantic Ocean. Then we'll talk about what happened this day in history, and then Tom and I are going to share some cool information with you about Medicare Supplement Plan N versus G and the rest of the plans available out there today. So I tell you what, I will take the second one, Tom. You go ahead and go first.
Okay. Very interesting fact about the Atlantic Ocean. The first fact is that it is the second largest ocean of the 5 world oceans, and it's the second youngest.
And the deepest part is in the Puerto Rico Trench, where waters are an average depth 24 100,000 feet.
Our wonderful state of Florida has the largest amount of coastal land bordering the Atlantic Ocean than any other state in the United States.
But isn't that amazing, though? Can you imagine 5 miles below the surface? 5 miles deep. That is just mind-boggling.
And I just saw a documentary or a show on TV the other night, and with blaring sunlight, guess how far down the sun goes into the ocean? Only about 650 feet.
I don't think it was that far even.
Yeah, well, the tiniest of lights. And so beyond that, it's absolutely pitch dark.
Right.
At least that's what the show was showing, a submersible. People were in absolute darkness.
It's like you're in outer space.
Yeah. And amazing animals down there,
Yeah,
too.
that would be interesting to do that. Okay, New Smyrna Beach is officially known as the shark attack capital of the world. Congratulations, New Smyrna Beach residents.
It is Shark Week on the Discovery Channel.
Yes, it is.
So in Florida, the month of September sees the greatest number of shark attacks compared to all other months.
The name Atlantic is very old and dates back to Greek mythology, in which the word translates to Sea of Atlas.
And there are a lot of famous cities that border the Atlantic, including Miami, Cape Town, South Africa, London, UK, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Casablanca, Morocco, and Reykjavik in Iceland. Thank you, Gary. And many more.
Well, the only reason why I know that because I've been there. So
And Cape Cod. Cape Cod up
Cape
in
Cod.
Massachusetts.
The Atlantic Ocean was the first to ever be crossed by ship and flown over by aeroplane.
And the largest island in the Atlantic Ocean is Greenland, which is also the largest island in the world.
It'd be interesting to go to Greenland sometime. I'd like to go.
I bet it's green there.
Probably, there's probably some land there.
And
Green
Iceland.
land, probably.
Yeah, I'd like to go to
White.
Iceland. Yep.
And then the last, there is an entire mountain range buried beneath the Atlantic Ocean, also known as the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. You can actually see these underwater mountain formations on satellite imagery. And there you go, the cool facts about the Atlantic Ocean. And now you know the rest of the story. All right, this day in history, Tom. Let's talk about, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 1775, July 26, 1775, the United States Postal System is established by the Second Continental Congress with Ben Franklin as its first Postmaster General. Way to go, Ben!
All right, Benjamin. And in July 26, in 1863, at the height of the Civil War, Confederate cavalry leader John Hunt Morgan and 360 of his men were captured in Ohio.
And then 1931, a swarm of devious grasshoppers descends on crops throughout Midwest, devastating millions of acres of land.
In 1908, the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, is born. And God only knows what good.
1945, in the 11th hour of World War II, Winston Churchill was forced to resign as British Prime Minister.
And in 1999, President George H.W. Bush signs into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, otherwise known as the ADA.
Very good. Good stuff today. So, Tom, I think we should probably touch a little bit on, we talk about Medicare in generalities.
We do.
When we come on the show, and health insurance and things of that nature. So I'd like to drill down, because you and I both have clients today that we're enrolling in Plan N and one Plan G. So what makes one plan better? I mean, we know that when the person turns 65, the very first thing they should do is call Owen Insurance Group.
Absolutely.
The very first thing they should do.
Even a few weeks or months or even a year ahead of time.
Absolutely, Tom.
It would serve you well before you get inundated with everybody's advice and your mailbox being filled and unsolicited phone calls, even knocks on the door.
Tom?
Yes.
They're starting a decade ahead.
Oh my!
I got
you already got one?
I got my first card yesterday from eHealth.
Oh my!
About Medicare Advantage plan.
Well, believe me, I'm 5 years away, and I've been getting Medicare cards in the mail for at least a year.
They're relentless.
So I don't know. They're really prepping.
Why would just a question for you out there? Why would you respond to an ad from an internet company for something that's so important? Why would you respond to a TV commercial to call an 800 number to some unknown place where you have here in the state of Florida, locally here on the Treasure Coast, a bona fide, professional, ethical, independent agency where we take you as a guide, we educate, we inform, and to making sure that you have the right information to hand to make the most appropriate decision. This is a huge decision. When you are about to turn 65, you've got a major decision to make. And if you make the wrong decision, I always tell my friends and my family and my clients, it's important to make the right decision today because the decisions you make today can last a lifetime. So it's important to get it right the first time.
And it could be the matter of life and life and death.
Yes.
I mean, and your health is your greatest wealth. And at that time of retirement or 65, not only their health insurance with Medicare, Gary, but also they might have questions or concerns about Social Security, rolling over IRAs from their retirements, and which right now may be going into the tank. And so we have some options and solutions for all of those issues. And calling us and getting our counsel, advice, consultations are zero cost to you.
What? What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, I mean, our advice is $100+ an hour.
It's
or
priceless.
$250. I mean,
priceless.
Any attorney you will be charging a good attorney would be $250 or more.
Yeah.
And, the advice we give you could literally be more important than the information they're giving, and not to say it is, but it could be. And ours is no cost, and we're able to help you navigate those confusing waters of Medicare particularly.
So, Tom, I'm going to share with you and my audience, like the number one, when we educate our clients and our prospects that eventually become our clients, I always like to ask, like, what was the one your biggest takeaway by being with us today? And the fact that 9 times out of 10, they tell me because you make it simple. You made it easy for me to understand. It's complicated, it's convoluted, and it's not clear. So we simplify insurance planning. So whether it's Medicare, life, individual health, group health, disability, long-term care, annuities, it is our job, it's our mission to make sure that we educate and we inform and are transparent, unlike the competition, right? So it's important that you work with us. We're one of our agents. We've got 350-plus agents across the state of Florida. So no matter where you are in the state of Florida, and even 35 states that we're licensed in outside of Florida, that we can help you.
And we do follow HIPAA guidelines, and what that means in a practical sense is any information you provide us, we keep that locked away, protected, private and protected. We don't talk to anybody about your information, and we treat you in a fiduciary manner. And what that's a fancy word for saying we're only going to recommend what is best for you. We'll walk away from business that we would love to have, but we'll walk away by making the recommendation that is best for you. And that's not only our own personal integrity, it's the ethics of our profession, and it's the law. So we certainly want to do right to you.
It's common sense.
It's common sense.
I mean, come on, man. Unfortunately, there's just doesn't seem to be a lot of that out there. That's not the strategy that's being deployed.
That's right. And a lot of these 800 numbers that you get somebody who just got their license last week. Now they're thrown on their phone. They're given quotas, and they're made to just really try to force you into a plan that's really not the best for you. And you and I both know that many of our current clients are people who've had that bad experience.
Absolutely.
By just calling that 800 number.
Well, which kind of segues to what I was going to say real quick before we go on break. And then, that is like the number one takeaway also when they're talking to us is that, I had no idea that you couldn't change plans. So I had to know that you couldn't go from a Advantage plan 5 years later, let's say, and go to a supplement plan. just like that. No, it's more complicated than that. And people are not advised of this stuff. And so it causes problems. It causes hardship. So that's why it's important to work with the right company, the right agency, the right agent, to get the right information, and so you can make an informed choice. But when we come back for break, we're gonna dive into a little bit deeper. We'll share with you the information, the pitfalls to avoid, and what to look out for, what not to do, what you should do. And thank you for tuning in to the Quality of Life radio show. And I promise you, we're gonna be right back.
Of the Owen Insurance Group. We are a local independent insurance agency located right here on the Treasure Coast. I've been a resident here for 34 years and have helped thousands of clients with their insurance planning needs. We specialize in life, health, and Medicare insurance planning. Don't travel the road alone. Let us be your guide. We are the Owen Insurance Group. Contact us today at 772-210-1020 or visit our website at oweninsurancegroup.net.
You are listening to WSTU, Stewart, Jupiter, and Indiantown, Martin County's Heritage Station.
All right, welcome back to the Quality of Life radio show. This is about your life. It's about your quality and your quality of life and health. So here's where you're going to get all the information that you need, unbiased information that you can make an informed choice. So before we went on break, we were talking about Medicare supplements. So obviously when you turn 65 or you're retiring, you live in your group plan, you're past 65, you've got to make a choice, two choices that is, and either it's a Medicare Advantage route, managed care, or a Medicare supplement plan with your original Medicare Parts A and B. So we're going to kind of focus on Medicare supplement plans for the last, 17 minutes of the show, because we're getting a lot of calls and a lot of questions about Plan N versus Plan G. But before we get into the Medicare supplement plans G and N, when we drill down to that, there are 12 Medicare supplement plans out there to choose from. Now, if you're turning 65, or if you're 65 after January 1, 2020, that limits you to 10 plans, because Plan C and F are no longer available for folks who are turning 65, moving forward past 2020, January 1, 2020. So for all intents and purposes, we'll say that there are 10 plans that you can choose from. 10, Tom.
And how many have you personally recommended or enrolled people in?
Great question. Well, I can tell you what I've not enrolled in or enrolled a client in. I've never, in my entire 15 years of experience, enrolled a client in Plan A. I won't say what Plan A stands for, but you don't want Plan A on Medicare supplement. And actually, it's strange because we have saw clients come into our office with Plan A supplement. So kind of educate them about original Medicare.
A new agent put them in that,
or they may have called the company directly. Who knows?
I haven't studied all of them, but A sounds good.
Oh my Lord! A for best, right?
A for the best.
A is the best plan. Okay.
Well, actually, no. So yeah.
So original Medicare. Real quick, we're gonna tell you plan Part A and B. All right. Parts A and B. Part A, Tom, is
hospital.
And Part B?
Medical.
Okay. So do you have to have Medicare Part A and B to enroll in Advantage or a supplement plan?
Yes, you do.
You do. All right. Now, if they decide that they only want to stay in original Medicare and they have to go to the hospital with Part A. Walk us through what that looks like.
Absolutely. So if you just have that original Medicare card, no supplement, no Medicare Advantage, you will pay day one night, or all the way up to 60. You're going to have a one-time deductible of $1,556. Now, I say one time because that'll last you for 60 days.
Wait a minute, dollars or pesos?
Dollars.
Wow.
Dollars. Yeah, so $1,556 right off the bat. Boom, out your pocket when you're admitted into the hospital.
That's a lot of money, Tom.
It is. It is, especially if you're prone to being hospitalized.
All right, so what happens about the Part B then? I mean, what's the out-of-pocket expense for the Medicare beneficiary who has only Medicare A and B? So what do they pay for Part B?
Okay, and this is where a lot of people think they know what Medicare is, because they'll quote a portion of what I'm about to say, is if you go to the doctor office, the first $233 is your payment. That means there's a Part B deductible. So if your doctor's office charges $150, you're going to pay $150. The next time you go see them, you'll only pay $83, but then 20% of the rest. So after you pay the $233 deductible annually, calendar year, you would pay 20% of Medicare Part B costs. Medicare picks up the $80. And so that's what many people think. Oh, Medicare pays $80 and I pay $20. That's kind of many people's limited understanding of Medicare in general.
Yeah, but Tom, isn't there a cap on that? So if someone has a $100,000 Medicare-approved amount surgery, so are they really going to pay 20% of $100,000? There's no cap on that, huh?
There is actually, yeah, Gary, that's right. There is no cap on these because the sky is the limit, meaning there is no cap. They're not going to say, well, you paid too much. Now there's a $500,000 bill, and somehow it's all accredited to Part B, and you owe 20% of that. You have a $100,000 bill. That can happen, and that does happen to people.
All right, so now you know and understand the importance of having a gap plan, a Medigap or a Medicare supplement. If you hear a Medigap terminology or Medicare supplement terminology, they're interchangeable. They're one and the same. So a Medicare supplement is a Medigap plan, and you need a gap to cover, you need a plan like a Medigap plan to cover those gaps in original Medicare. So for example, like Tom was saying, $1,556 deductible for the hospital, you could potentially go 6 times a year and have a 6 times deductible. That's almost $9,400, $9,500 out of pocket with original Medicare. So and by the way, the number to me is staggering. The number of Medicare beneficiaries that are out in this country today that only have original Medicare A and B because they think that's all that they need, Tom. We had a client in yesterday who wanted to be enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan. His wife needed a Part D, and he needed a Part D. His wife was 80, he was 74, and he wanted to enroll in Part D. I need to enroll in Part D. My wife, she had some ailments. She's got some issues and major cost on drugs, and it was really hurting them. But they have never signed up for Part D. So, and he didn't know. He said, nobody told us that we had to enroll in Part D. And he didn't realize now that when his wife enrolls in Part D, she can't enroll in Part D now. There was no special enrollment for her to enroll in Part D. She has to wait until the annual enrollment period, October 15th through December 7th. And when she does enroll in Part D at that time, she's going to have approximately a $61 a month penalty on top of her Part D premium. People, wake up. Don't listen to none of the nonsense out there. You need to call Owen Insurance Group to get unbiased information and to be educated about what pitfalls are out there and what to avoid. Going back to Medicare supplement, 10 plans, Plan A, muy malo. Don't do it. You might as well not even wait. Take the money and use it for TP and flush it down the commode. Okay? Don't do it. We don't have time to get into all the different coverages and so forth, but Tom and I are sitting here, and I think Tom agrees with me, don't do it. Plan B, don't do it. Now, and I know it sounds confusing. Part A and Part B, Plan A and Plan B. Part A and Part B is your original Medicare. Plan A and Plan B are Medicare supplement plans that are added to your original Medicare. So plans A and B, we don't recommend. Plan D is okay. I mean, we see some clients on Plan D, but the most popular plan out there today is Plan G. For Gary.
For great.
For great.
For great, Gary.
For goodness.
Yeah.
And the reason why, because it is the plan, it's the Mac Daddy plan today with the Medicare supplement, because everything is covered 100% except, Tom,
the Part B deductible.
That's it. And how much is the annual Part B deductible?
$233 for this year.
That's it.
For 2022.
So with Plan G, you know that you can go to the doctor, you can go to the hospital, you can have all kinds of tests done, whatever you need to have done, and it's going to cost you $233 for the year. We're going to talk about premiums here in just a moment, so just hang tight. Now, Plan N is the second most popular plan. So I want to kind of give you some insight about 2021 in Plan G enrollment and Plan N enrollment. So last year, 72% of Medicare supplement plans were plans F and G, the Mac Daddy plans. Nothing out of pocket at all for Plan F, and only a $233 a year deductible for Plan G. The Mac Daddy plans, 72% of all Medicare supplement sales were those two plans. And then Medicare supplement Plan N, we're going to talk to you about that in a minute, accounted for 10%. Now, this year, Plan N is gaining ground, Tom, and I'm going to have you explain why that is, and we'll walk our clients and our listeners through it real quick. But so far for 2022, 51% of new Medicare beneficiaries have chose Plan G. So down 21% from the previous year. And now Plan N accounts for 38%. So from 10% last year to 38% this year. Tom, why do you think Plan N is becoming more aggressive and more popular today with Medicare beneficiaries?
Okay, Gary, thank you for that question, because I do see that the interest has grown even in the last couple of years to Plan N. And the number one thing is the monthly premium can be considerably less, 20%, 25% less than a Plan G. So a monthly premium on a Plan G for St. Lucie County for a female turning 65 is like $188. We can get a Plan N with a very reputable long-term company that's been around from the beginning of Medicare, great rate stability, and we love this company, but it's only $144. And so there is basically a $44 disparity in the premium, lower premium.
So I have the numbers written down this morning. I went on CSG, and so Tom and I have access because we are what type of agents, Tom?
Professional, exceptional,
independent, right?
Brokers.
So we represent not all the carriers, because nobody represents all the carriers. If you hear that come from somebody's mouth, they're lying to you. We represent most of the carriers, where the carriers will contract independent agents, okay? We are not captive, so we don't represent just one company in one plan. That, to me, is like putting a size 5 shoe on every person's foot in the universe. Makes no bloody sense. Okay, let me I got that out of the way.
Thank you.
Now, Plan G premium, the cheap. So here in Martin County, Florida, pretty much along the Treasure Coast, a female who's turning 65, she's going to call Old Insurance Group, and she's going to say, Gary, I want to enroll in Plan G. Okay, perfect. The cheapest is $181 a month. The most expensive is $238 a month. So there is a $57 a month premium difference between the cheapest carrier and the most expensive carrier. Now, we have over 20-some carriers that we can represent, But as Tom so eloquently alluded to earlier, there is one carrier specifically that we love to work with. I mean, we can work with them all, but one carrier that has a proven track record of rate stability. So I think people get caught up, and there was this poor guy on Facebook reached out to me, and he wanted to enroll in a supplement plan, and he ended up going direct to the company to get the cheapest premium. Little does he know, and little do you know, that this carrier that he chose has an exponential, one of the highest rate increases of any carrier in the country. So my biggest advice to you today is that if you choose a Medicare supplement plan, choose a company. More importantly than any plan that you choose the right company, because you may not be able to switch in the future if you have a pre-existing condition. In most cases, you will not be able to do that. So it's important, as I said earlier, choosing the right plan today is important because the decisions you make today can last a lifetime. It is so important to get it right the first time. Now, Plan G, the cheapest Plan G is $181 a month. The cheapest Plan N in this area is $134 a month. I'm not going to mention names of the carriers because that doesn't matter. So now we're looking at a $47 a month premium difference between Plan G and Plan N, Tom. So that's $564 premium savings. What does $564 in premium savings a year get that client who's enrolled in Plan N?
Well, it gets them a lot more gas in their tank and a lot more food on their table. But
True.
But seriously, what it will do, it'll actually still give them the complete freedom to go to any doctor across the country without a referral, without a network. They just have to take Medicare, so that's technically somewhat of a network. It will give them freedom, peace of mind, and the ability, as I said, to go to some of the best hospitals, best doctors nationwide in every state of the country. That's the same freedom it gives them. They would have a copay of $20 per visit for a doctor and a specialist, $50 for emergency, and a very, very little, rarely used part of Medicare called excess charges, where a doctor could charge about 15% more than the Medicare allowable rate. 95% of providers do not charge excess charges, but it is a rare little thing that could potentially come up.
Yeah, so the new number for 2022 is 97% of doctors that accept Medicare
97, wow.
will accept Medicare assignment. So the chance of that happening is very, very minimal. So the opportunity to get into a Plan N is certainly there. But again, call us at Owen Insurance Group at 772-210-1020 if you have questions about Medicare, whether it's a Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, Plan G, Plan N, the high deductible Plan G, the high deductible Plan F, or Plan F. I mean, so again, we have the answers. We know that you have the questions. All you got to do is pick up the phone and dial 772-210-1020. And again, we will do what's right because we are independent agents. And we have that fiduciary duty to always do what's right. Any final thoughts, Tom, before we say goodbye?
Medicare supplements are definitely a wonderful way to go. And we, as Gary just said, we can definitely help clearly delineate between G and N. And if you absolutely qualified because you were approved for Medicare before 2020 January, you could look at Plan F as well.
Yep, and Plan F, again, if you can qualify for Plan F, I love Plan F. I think Plan F is with the right company now. Again, if you choose the wrong carrier, keep this in mind. Don't say Tom and Gary didn't tell you. We're telling you right here and right now. If you choose the wrong carrier today, and to say 3 or 4 years later, you're tired of those premium rate increases, and now you want to switch to that company that Tom and I spoke about earlier that has the best rate stability of averaging 1% rate increase per year, now you have to answer health underwriting to qualify. So you've been warned. If you got questions, call us at 772-210-1020. Next week, I am going to be in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, so I will not be in the studio.
Riding horses.
So Rod Davis, who is the CEO of the Better Business Bureau, will be here with Tom, and Dr. Brian will be taking my spot. So you want to stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great show. So we'll say thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Please share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your enemies. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Remember, Treasure Coast, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life.